There are so many Pokemon that need new evolutions. Whenever Pokemon releases a new generation, one of my favorite things is when they make new evolutions for old Pokemon. Many Pokemon were strong back when they were released, but then became less and less relevant throughout the years due to power creep. So today, I'm going to pick 5 early generation Pokemon that have been forgotten over the years, and create new evolutions for them to make them shine again. I'm sticking to Pokemon from the first 4 generations, as I feel like the general power level was raised quite a bit from Gen 5 and onward. The Pokemon I choose are going to be Pokemon that were previously good, but have since lost their relevance over the years, plus some Pokemon that were just never that great to begin with. Some of my choices are also definitely going to be stronger than the others, but they could all definitely use a boost by today's standards. But that's it for the intro, let's start evolving some old Pokemon. So first out, we have one of the good old Team Rocket Pokemon, Arbok. Now, Arbok was never really that great, but at least back in Gen 1 and 2 it was more of an average Pokemon in terms of its power level. Today, on the other hand, it is abysmal for a fully evolved Pokemon. Its move pool is okay, but its stats and typing are just underwhelming to say the least. So let's evolve it. Now, I wanted to make an evolution that does everything that Arbok already does, just better. I want it to look more scary, much more powerful, and at the same time keep the Cobra aesthetic and the intimidating patterns on its neck. Now, since Ekans and Arbok look very simple and only use a few different colors, I wanted the evolution to obey those same rules. In the end, we get Silisab, which is Basilisk backwards except for missing the K. It is a dark poison type now, and is basically a viable version of Arbok. It is tailor-made in its stats to be a great coil sweeper. Set up a coil or two, and you have a Pokemon that both hits very hard, is tanky in both defenses, and has Stab Sucker Punch to make up for its lower speed. I also thought the design was a banger, my goodness. Next, we have a bit of a controversial one, Jynx. Now, I can't say I particularly like Jynx, and I can see why many people would dislike it, but since it is weak, and since its siblings got evolutions in Gen 4, I think it's fair to give Jynx one as well, and one that doesn't have the same flaws as Jynx has. The evolution needs to fix some problems though. I want it to still be an obvious evolution of Jynx, so yes, we're keeping the boobs and the overall human aesthetic, but I need it to look slimmer and less clumsy and also have some more obvious ice features, something I think Jynx lacks pretty much completely. I went for a slightly prettier design than Jynx, while still keeping just a little bit of the goofiness that Jynx has. And just like that, Sorcerize was born. I'm more than average happy with this one. I think it looks exactly like what I planned it to be, and it's just a stronger and faster version of Jynx with good enough stats to be viable even today. I also gave it the Queenly Majesty ability, because I think it suits it well given the royal vibes it gives off. So yeah, I do like this one actually. Now next, we have one of the cutest Pokemon in history in my opinion, Furret. Now Furret is my favorite of the early game rodents, and despite being super weak, it has just never gotten any love in the later generations, so I just had to evolve it. I need the evolution to look like a bigger and stronger Furret, while still being equally as cute, something that was actually not that hard to do. You just make it longer, give it some extra thick fur, bigger limbs, and a face that looks similar to Furret's. Furret is already quite simple, so I want the evolution to look somewhat simple as well. And so, Furret was born. Now, this design I absolutely adore. It is just so cute. And I also think I succeeded in making it look strong as well. It also obviously connects to Furret, and for the stats, I gave it a build that makes it a pretty threatening tidy-up sweeper, honestly. Its move pool is wide, and its damage output with normal attacks would be very high with adaptability. I would just love if this thing was real. Next, we have, in my opinion, a very underrated Pokemon from Gen 4, Toxicroak. Now, Toxicroak was somewhat viable when it came out actually, but today it has fallen very far down on the ranks. Now, I actually like Toxicroak, so I would really like to see it get an evolution that makes it usable again. Since Toxicroak has this very unique look, where it looks sort of villainous, but at the same time very strange, I want the evolution to be a bulkier version of that, while it looks more grown up and still has the same funny expression to its face. I want to alter the color scheme just slightly, so that it doesn't just look like a bigger Toxicroak, and in the end we get Crow Combat. Now, I like this one as well. It has the same typing and abilities as Toxicroak, but has the stats to be a bulky physical attacker with a much higher power level. I can see this thing being solid with items like Assault Vest or Choice Band, or as a tanky bulk up sweeper with leftovers. Overall, I think I accomplished what I wanted to with this one, so I'm pretty happy. Now for the final Pokemon I want to evolve, we have definitely the strongest one of the bunch, and one that was actually great back when it first came out in Gen 3, Milotic. Now, Milotic is one of my favorite Pokemon ever, and I hate that it has remained basically the same ever since it came out over 20 years ago now. And while it used to be a top level threat back in Gen 3, it is unfortunately just not very viable anymore today. Now this evolution was originally made a long time ago actually, and it was made for my Nordia region project. However, it was last drawn almost 2 years ago now, so it's about time we redraw it and redesign it a little. I'm keeping the pose and the overall aesthetic, but I wanted to have a more striking pattern this time, and a slightly altered color scheme as well. I'm keeping the starlight pattern on its main body, and of course updating the overall design to my current level of art style. In the end we get possibly the crown jewel of this video, Milotic. All new and up to date. Now this is a design that I am monumentally proud of. It does Milotic all the justice it deserves and makes it a top level threat again, which is exactly what I want. Its stats are similar to Milotic except stronger, and also makes it the second pseudo or at least semi-pseudo legendary in my region. I made it Water Dragon as well, which makes it even stronger and fits the look better in my opinion, as well as keeping the new ability that I created, Calm Heart, which boosts the accuracy of its moves by 30% when above half HP. This by the way gives it Hypnosis with 78 accuracy, and that makes it extremely powerful and competitive, which is exactly what I want for Milotic. And that's it! We have now made 5 new evolutions of old Pokemon. I think this group of designs turned out great, and some of them are probably some of the better artworks I've made. I'm also getting closer and closer to drawing like Sugimori, and I'm not stopping until I do. So anyways, if you like what I do and you want to see more, consider subscribing and liking the video, and also maybe leave a comment below and tell me what you think of these designs and which old Pokemon you would want to see evolve. You can also check out my Instagram if you want to follow me as an artist, and if you want to see me Mega Evolve some Pokemon instead, you can check out this video here. But that's it for now, and I will see you guys next time.